Welcome to the Stay Ready Real Estate Podcast, where we stay ready so you don't have to get ready. My name is Emeka, and I'll be interviewing a variety of professionals in the real estate industry to help you get 1% closer to your goal of buying your next real estate investment. My goal with this podcast is to show the world that regular people like you and me can buy real estate to build wealth. Today we have Victor Lopez. Mr. Lopez is a seasoned investment professional with experience in diverse facets of real estate investment management. Over this time, Mr. Lopez has founded numerous companies covering all aspects of real estate. Mr. Lopez possesses broad understanding of investment strategies, including background working with clients to assess risks and successfully execute investment strategies. Over the years, he has shown a proven track record of securing new businesses, raising capital, and obtaining sustainable revenue streams. Let's listen to Victor. All right, Victor, you want to tell the world a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Victor Lopez. I have a firm called Central Bridge Capital based out of Orlando, Florida. Very straightforward. I mean, I've been in real estate probably full time for 5.5 years. I started out wholesaling, fixing and flipping. But now, we're doing multi-value add properties here in Central Florida.
Oh, cool. And you say you've been doing it full time about 5 years. So what were you doing before that?
Before that, I was working in the corporate sector. After graduate college, I went down, lived in Miami, worked in sales, with investment banking. I knew that wasn't for me, and that's not what I wanted. So then I moved up here to Orlando. I always knew I wanted to be in real estate, but I always knew I never wanted to be a realtor. So I kind of learned. I got my feet wet in wholesaling. I worked for a company, kind of learned the ins and outs, and then I kind of opened up my own shop, and then everything from there is history.
Oh, cool. And did you look at any other investments? Like, was it automatically going to be real estate? Did you look at like crypto bonds or any other kind of asset class to kind of help you get going?
For me, it was very clear that, I've always wanted to be in real estate. I've seen all the fix and flip shows on HGTV and all that, so I thought that's what I wanted to do, and that's kind of when I first went in, what I, wholesale and fix and flipping did. So that's where I got my feet wet.
So what your experience between wholesaling, flipping, and all the other adventures you've done, which one's been your favorite so far?
To be honest, I enjoy where I'm now. It's $100,000 deals on the multifamily side. Definitely suits me better, kind of, my background, what I enjoy doing. I love talking with people, to build the business, and that's what really multifamily is in the day. So I like the numbers, they're bigger. And yeah, I really enjoy what I do right now currently.
Oh, that's amazing. And if you were to start all over again, would you do anything differently?
Yeah, I would probably jump into multifamily right away. I wouldn't go, the hard way, try to learn, fix and flips and wholesale. That's great. That's a good entry level way to get into it. But knowing what I know now, I'd rather do the hard part first and just, jump right in and, really spend a lot of time underwriting deals, putting my team together, kind of just networking how to get bigger deals done.
No, I love that. And what is your goal or what is your vision with Central Bridge?
Yeah, so we want to be fully vertically integrated investment firm. So we want to have property management, construction, the whole 9 yards, everything in-house. We want to be our number one client. So for us, it's just to build probably $1 billion multifamily firm. So that's my dream. That's what I'm working towards. So one step at a time. And, right now where we're doing is with acquisition. So that's kind of my bread and butter. And that's really what we focus on.
I love that. And you said one step at a time. So when it comes to, the next 2 years, what is your next 2 year goals, especially with the climate of the economy right now?
Yeah, within the next 2 years, I definitely want to be between 2 to 4 acquisitions here in house, whether it's a syndication or a JV deal. So being that my bread and butter is acquisitions, finding the deals, I'm trying to a lot of deals. So I feel that kind of where the market's now, it's a little bit stale, but I think there's a lot of new opportunities are about to come to market, and I want to be front and center of those. So I think we can actually with the right partners do around 2 to 4 deals in the next 2 years.
And why do you think, there's going to be some special opportunities coming in? What are you seeing that makes you say that?
So something that we've been tracking here internally is, all the debt that's about to come due. So I definitely see a lot of debt coming due. We see a lot of groups, having a need to sell where they can't wait a lot longer. So that's where the relationship with brokers, with owners in my market is becoming key, because I do think a lot of these assets will be traded off market. but that's a huge opportunity for new investors or people that have, best relationships with brokers and owners to come in and kind of take advantage of that opportunity.
No, that's beautiful. And whenever you got into it, like, were you just studying, were you just studying daily, listening to podcasts, reading? Where did you get most of your knowledge and education in real estate?
To be honest, man, just experience on the phones. Kind of went in, knowing zero about real estate, and then started learning, how to underwrite deals, how to look at deals, formulas to use to make an offer. I'm sure I started, in the residential space, but very quickly I did start wholesaling, actually mobile home parks, believe it or not. So where I got started in the commercial space, and I learned about cap rates, how to underwrite deals, how everything kind of gets calculated on the commercial space. So just kind of learn on, being on the phone, talking to sellers and buyers. That's where I really gained all my experience.
Do you have any highlights of, the most or the biggest lesson that you've had, big hiccup that kind of, made you who you are today?
Yeah, I mean, I won't get into the names and details, but I remember back in the day, when I first had my big $1 million deal on the wholesale side. It was a mobile home park that we came across in Orlando. We got it on the contract. We were ready to close, and we were on the contract with the fund. At that time, the fund was doing their diligence, and right at the finish line, they had to pull out because environmentals came back that, since they're a fund that had investors, they couldn't close the deal. So they were back on the race to find new investors closing the deal. So bottom line, I really learned, learn to have capital up front, learn to have investors, have those conversations forward as you're hunting deals or before you hunt deals. So by the time, when you lock up a deal, you don't have to be in that point where you're chasing the capital. I like to be in the point, where I have the money first or while I'm doing it, and then I can go out and hunt deals so I know exactly what I'm looking for, and kind of what my capital is.
No, cool. And this is a wholesaling business. So whenever you're calling these owners, how are you getting these owners to give them or give you their property? What are you saying? What are the questions that you're asking?
Yeah, mainly of the backstory, it all starts very, rapport building with sellers. So most of these guys I can see on my hand that they've owned it for numbers of years. Just having an honest conversation. They're selling even on the radar, Are they realistic where the market's at? I love to hear the whole backstory. Sometimes I go to property and shake their hands, when they pass down, they build it themselves, So the whole backstory is what kind of gets me in the door. And then we really start the conversation to see if there's a potential sale down the road. So just having an honest conversation with them, seeing, understanding, how they built the business, how they got into it, and just seeing, going from there.
No, cool. And what are you telling the novice investor right now? The person who doesn't have any deals, no experience, but they want to get started tomorrow.
Digest as much as you can, learn, be in the right rooms. I mean, nowadays you can literally have, join any coaching program out there. Obviously, I think I'm in the greatest coaching program of all, but besides that, it's just, really, don't be afraid to just get your feet wet and just go out there, and hunt deals, learn about the industry as much as you can, every aspect of it, property management, underwriting, sales, really just go out, like, as soon as you know what you want to do, just go out and do it. I think we're living in a time, where you can literally do anything you put your mind to. I'm a big believer in that. And like I said, it's just, I don't think with all the massive education we have with YouTube University, all the podcasts out there, it's very easy to get started. Just go in, take massive action.
Why don't people get started? I feel like we've all seen we all heard all the people who are trying to say, yeah, I want to do this, I want to do that, but this, or I don't have time. What are you seeing out there that, people are telling you why they can't get started?
One, I think it's analysis from, the whole dream theory. They're gonna wait for the right time, the right moment to get started. Something, they're gonna wait till they have enough money saved. And then I think second of all, it's fear, right? Sometimes when you think of a big, hairy goal, that's very fearful. So sometimes, our family, our friends are the first ones to install that upon us. So I think those are the two major things that really prevent people from getting started.
That's amazing. And you briefly kind of went over it, but what is your deep reason of why you're in the real estate, right? You have these big goals. Once you achieve them, And then what? Are you going to keep doing it once you achieve that goal, or what's your motivation? What's your purpose?
No, absolutely. I mean, my biggest why, the whole reason why creating Central Bridge and being behind Central Bridge itself is, we bridge the gap, is to create legacy wealth. For me, I came from a single mom. I saw a lot of, I was first front and center, to a lot, what a lot of investors were doing, especially in the commercial world, where they're being able to create massive portfolio, massive wealth, your kids, your grandkids are taken care of. So I said, what is the fastest and best way to do that? And that was the multifamily real estate. That's why I got started. So my why is definitely is, get my feet wet, have a track record, but create the legacy place. So eventually, I mean, right now I'm doing, value add multifamily, but I want to be in the space of wealth preservation. So I want to know perhaps down the road tackle those Class A assets that can leave legacy wealth. And I don't only want to create legacy wealth for myself, but for my investors and my partners. And that's really what I'm out there to, building that for my firm.
No, that's amazing. I love that. And a lot of people don't, I think a lot of people just think, real estate is get rich quick, right? Get rich tomorrow. And that's definitely something that people don't understand. It's a long term, especially when you're talking about, legacy and wealth. You're not going to get that in a couple days, a couple months, or not even a couple years. It takes the hard work now, but the consistency of that hard work for the days and days and days to come. And with that said, what has been the hardest aspect of your journey in this real estate class?
So I think the hardest aspect is this, probably doing your first deal, getting that first deal on the contract. But when I think the biggest thing is the biggest odd is, you think everything's against the market, the financials, raising the equity, finding the deal. It's just the time that it takes to get a deal in this industry. I think that's the hardest aspect, but at the same time, that's what I love because it literally does for me. And what I see happening is weeks out the week. So this is definitely a field where you have to think long term, a long vision. Many people come into the industry thinking, "Hey, I'm going to make my first couple million, the first couple of years," and this industry slaps you in the face because that's not the way it works. So that's the biggest challenge is staying in the game, doing the actions every single day in day out, learning every day. And when it gets hard, to keep on going. Again, that's the biggest challenge, but that's also why I love multifamily real estate.
Well, if it was easy, everybody would do it, right? And then the barriers to entry is one of the main reasons why I kind of like multifamily as well, is because it's hard, right? You got to solve problems, and not everybody can do it. With single families, there's so much out there where it's like the barriers to entry is small as long as you can find the money to get the deal closed. But multifamily is not exactly the same.
Yeah, touch on as well. With single family, you can go out there, invest in a couple houses, build a portfolio by itself. But what I love about multifamily is that team aspect, right? You're gonna need to really do this successfully, even for a long game. You have to create a good team, and I think that's also barrier to entry to getting into the field is having the skill and the vision is build a team of partners around your weekend. That's where I really see the massive coming in, with the good investors in these.
Well, how are you able to find your team? Where if I don't have any friends who are who is interested in real estate like I am, what are you doing to find the right partners for you?
To be honest, I'm going out there. I'm putting my vision out there to everybody. I meet, I shake hands, I meet brokers. I'm in masterminds, I'm in real estate investment groups. But to be honest, I'm letting the world know what I'm trying to build, why I'm trying to build it, what's my vision, and I'm really trying to align myself, with the team of champions. So the easiest way to do it, especially in the industry, who's transacting, who has a track record. Just go out there, shake hands, let them know what your vision is, and before you know it, you can start some of the teams or people that can behind your vision. That's what putting together a team is all about.
If you were to start all over, you'd go straight to multifamily. Are you going to be telling that to someone who else is just getting into it? And if they want to go strictly into multifamily, what is the first action that they should be doing?
Yeah, I mean, I know for many people, definitely many people say, start with the easy, but again, go ahead, start with the hard. I mean, it takes a lot of years, for you to really hone down on your skill in the multifamily game. So if I was to do myself, tell my younger self that is to, start young. That way you have that path to really learn the industry, learn how to underwrite, learn how to raise equity, learn how to find deals. Because coming into multifamily is going to take a couple of years to really get going. So why not do it while you're young? So that's exactly 100% what I would do. And I mean, yeah, you're young, you're starting out. I would just get myself, a second job or a second source of income. But I would definitely go into straight into multifamily, knowing what I know now. Obviously, I went the path, the digital path where people go, wholesaling, single family. But again, now that I have, that I've kind of been through that, and I know, the bigger goal, the bigger vision is I would have loved to start a multifamily.
With that, we're going to go to the next segment of the show where I ask everybody the same three questions. Question number one, if you could recommend two books for the aspiring investor, what would they be and why?
Oh, this is a hard one. I would probably say Rich Dad Poor Dad. And again, it's you probably heard that over and over and over again. But I think that gives you the biggest, principles, the fundamentals of entrepreneurship, right? It puts your mindset in that stage where, hey, I'm gonna go out there and be an entrepreneur, assets and liabilities. And I think, as basic as it is, we're not taught that in today's future. So that's definitely one of my favorite books. And then I'll probably say my second book is Choose Your Enemies Wisely by I'm blanking out now, Patrick McDavid. Very good book. Again, he's a self-made entrepreneur, and I think it's today's day and age. How we look at entrepreneurship. It gives you definitely, a good roadmap on what it takes to succeed.
I love that. Two, what has been the most impactful speech or lesson that has helped you in your career?
So the biggest lessons is don't get discouraged by mistakes. If you're not failing or making enough mistakes, you're probably not trying hard enough. So that's the number one lesson. And the second lesson that I really learned is, the harder the goal, probably the better the outcome and, better the work that is chasing that goal. I think a lot of people, we get used to, again, like we talked about earlier, having that instant gratification of, fast success. But I think the biggest lesson I've learned is, hey, if something's really, really hard, you're probably on the right path. So stick on it, and eventually, kind of everything's gonna pan out.
If you can have dinner with anyone dead or alive, who would it be and why?
I would probably, I mean, this is a good one. I'll probably say Albert Einstein, to be honest. He's
Well,
one of the most, probably stunning scientists of all time, knows all the principles. And again, I think after science, there's a lot of valuable things that you can put into today's culture and has a lot of explanations to why we are the way we are, right? The human being is a very, very interesting creature. So he's one of the great pioneers, that really studies science. And I think it would be really interesting, to really sit down and have dinner with him.
if you can give three quick actionable steps to someone to do today to get them 1% closer to their goal, what would it be?
Number one is to shake hands. Shake as many hands as you can. I don't care what industry you're in, that will always get you closer to your goal. Number two is put yourself in the room where people are where you want to be. That's the easiest blueprint, you know what I mean? And number three is whatever you're doing, take massive action. Massive action. Have a daily plan, a monthly plan, a year plan, and you take action on that. And I think those three things, you're gonna get real, real far.
Well, Victor, thank you so much for coming on the show, and I hope to have you again. How can people reach out to you if they have questions?
Yeah, I mean, you can always reach out to me via email at victor@singlebitchholdings.com, or via LinkedIn. It's probably the best way to get a hold of me. And just message me, and we'll hop on a calendar, and then, start get a conversation going.
Well, thank you. Until next time.